Here we go.
Good afternoon, YouTube's man always Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, this last weekend was a busy weekend, especially for me. I got some stuff. I got cut some clips and stuff and post some stuff, and really, it was an amazing weekend. As you know, Saturday was the Triple O Dynasty. It was the official start for the women's bodybuilding and figure divisions. I'm a fan of these two divisions, especially women's bodybuilding. I figure I've become a growing fan of it in the last couple of years since I started doing this content. So anyway, congratulations to the winner of our Moojen, and also congratulations coming up, stepping up. We have 14 bodies for this show, 14. And maybe this is a good sign for the upcoming season. We might see more bodies. Maybe things can change for women's bodybuilding going into the next year and this season. So anyway, this is my first comparison for this month of April. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all Easter weekend. Today's going back to work and going back to life. So anyway, this is from the files of Flex and Sex Appeal. Yeah, you guys out there. I know you guys love these women. And I keep hearing comments and stuff about how some guys think that women like it's not beautiful, not attractive. I'm telling you, folks, I've seen some amazing women, over my years of being a fan of women's bodybuilding, female bodybuilding in general. Some of the ladies I've met in person and just as beautiful as they are, up close as they are, you see them online or in magazines or on video. So these two ladies just competed at the Triple O. They were in the top 3, and one of them is the winner, and one did pretty good the last year too. We have here the lovely Mrs. Patti Hanson, the lovely Mrs. Barbara Moojen. Now, Patti's been in the game for quite some time. Originally, she was doing figure. Actually, she started figure, then switched over to women's physique, but actually earned a pro card in women's bodybuilding back in 2020 at the Miss International. And then made her pro debut at the Rising Phoenix. That was back when you win the Miss International overall title, you get to go to the Rising Phoenix. And Patti, as you know, she's been in the game for quite a bit. Also, she was doing women's physique for a good bit. She's originally from Brazil. She actually made her debut back around, I think, in her pro debut in 2021, 2022. And she has been, she also switched over to women's bodybuilding in 2023 when she did the Masters Olympia that year. She did quite a few shows. I even saw her when I was at the Tampa. She was there because she competed last year at Tampa. Amazing lady, amazing physique, great body. And both of you ladies are truthfully, I would say, women with flex and sex appeal. So as you know, the pictures dropped a couple of days ago from the Triple O. It was pretty good pictures. This is the same photographer did it the last time, but these pictures line up great, perfectly. Sometimes some photographers have different styles. Sometimes I don't like as much, but this one, this guy, he's really stepped up his game with these pictures. Both look great physiques. It was like really close. Like really, it was a point of choice between Salika and Barber. And, Patti was in the mix, but some things she needed to really work on. Both ladies have great aesthetic, great physique, very attractive women, and obviously some things you really pay attention to about them both, but hey, we're men. Hey, come on. So right here we have is the front lat spread. If I look at it, I think one thing Patti's, is just got great conditioning from the front. She was really good. She has good width in her shoulders, great development in her abdominals, great development of the quad. Barbara has the size. She's slightly bigger. You can see it, especially in her lats. Her quads a little bigger. Condition's pretty good. This is very close. I would say if I go by what I typically see, I have to go with Patti on this one. We have is the front double. Both of them look pretty good. But if I really go with the size and fullness, and also the top of the muscle bellies, that's where the muscles really more full get together. This one I have to go with Barbara. Barbara has more fullness in her shoulders, more peak in her bicep. The lat development is where also is at because she has more width compared to Barbara. Conditioning might be just a little bit off, especially in the midsection, but overall, I have to go with Barbara on this one. Here we have the side chest. Both look pretty good. Good fullness, roundness in the shoulder and the tricep, a nice peak. Good conditioning. One thing I think is the fullness. I think if you look at the lower part of Barbara's at the quads and also at the quads and the close to the hamstrings, her conditioning pops out. She has better conditioning, good full size, good development. It's a slight edge here, but if I look at overall here, I have to give this one here to Barbara. Here is a rear lat spread. And again, even though, Patti's condition is just a slightly better from the back, she does lack a little more width and size. The back can make or break. I think one thing is with Barbara, she needs to be cut a little tighter in the hamstrings, especially around the tie connections. She has good width, good lat. She has better pop. So here I have to go with Barbara. Here we have the rear double. Even though it's different posing, it changes a bit. I would say even though, Barbara does have a little more size, for the look of it, conditioning overall, I have to give this one here to Patti. Yes, good conditioning from the back. Here we have the tricep. Both legs look really good. Good fullness, that good grayness, good pop. You see that good connection from the upper shoulder into the tricep and the lower shoulder. Again, this is like a close one, but I feel like I have to lean a little towards Barbara than I do with Patti. And here we have a dominant thigh pose. And again, this is where Barbara really pops and shines. Great condition in midsection, especially for a woman having two children. Sometimes having children, childbirth can affect how your abdominals looks. I've seen some ladies who have some issues with your abdominals because they've had kids, depending on the situation. If it were like, some cases, like some women who had C-sections, it can really affect the lower half of the abdominals. Her condition is a little bit better compared to Barbara's. And that's one thing I think somebody's telling me that she needs to really work on is her midsection. So if I go by the better abdominals and better pose here, I have to go with Patti. Here we have a nice bicep pose. Fuller size, a better peak. Out the gate, no question, has to be Barbara. She has that great peak, more size, more fullness. I think it's one thing I think Barbara needs to work on is bringing that peak and that fullness in her bicep. So I have to give this one here to Barbara. Here's the shot from the back. And this is where condition is just a little bit better for Barbara. She does have good condition from the back, good glute connections, good hamstring tie-ins. So here I have to go with Barbara. But anyway, these are both amazing women, and I'll say both attractive women. Two women from different parts of the world. Patti, she lives around in the West Coast, I think around Washington State. Barbara, she still lives in Brazil. Brazil is really popping. The upcoming show is going to be the show Luciano's, I forgot his last name, but it was talking with Natalia Coelho and Andrea Shaw about having his bodybuilding show. So maybe that'd be a show great for her for qualification for next year's Olympia. Because, she's in her own backyard. Patti's an amazing lady. I mean, she did pretty good this year. I mean, remember a few years ago, there was a setback. She competed, when she made, not a Pro debut, but when she competed at the Chicago Pro back in 2021, that was tough. And she was going through a lot. She had some issues, and she took that time off. And she came back. And she did pretty good last year. She did 3 shows where she cracked the top 3. I mean, even though Atlanta was only... it was only 3 competitors that show, and then she did the Grand Prix, which was like quite a few ladies, and the Steve Carr show, and she cracked the top 3 in those 3 shows, even taking third at this show. Patti looks amazing. I gotta give her that. She's great physique, great look, great size. Just gotta bring in a little more definition in the back and better width in the lats. Barbara, she's just up there, but like a thing with her is conditioning, and both these ladies are women of 40 and over. I think Barbara's 50, and I'd seen that, Patti's like about 50. I think she's like 46, 47. And Patti didn't do the Masters part. She just did the Open. So gotta think about it. If she did Masters, it would have been her, Salika, and Barbara in the top 3, But she looks great. She's done Masters before. I think she done Masters Atlanta where she won her qualifications for Masters O for next year. So she's going to the Masters O. I'm hoping they have in the States. I hope they have in the States because I would love to go to the Masters O if they have in the States. But both Barbara and Patti, amazing women, great status, great physiques, and truthfully, women of 2 different cultures, 2 different backgrounds that have what I call flex and sex appeal. This is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.